Welcome to I Am Business. I'm Stan Zygmunt, Director of News and Media Relations at the University of Scranton. Christine Donelo, my co-host, is off today. Today we have two distinguished guests joining us from the Commonwealth Medical College. We have the founding dean and president of the Commonwealth College, Dr. Robert D'Alessandri, and we also have an incoming student, John Catula, who is part of the incoming class or at the Commonwealth Medical College. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We're really pleased to be here.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. It seems to me almost surreal that just a few years ago, there was this idea to have a medical school in Scranton, and now here you are.
Absolutely. It really is remarkable. And a really important part of that is the tremendous community support that initiated this concept and has brought this concept to fruition. It was around 2004 that Dr. Bob Naismith and Dr. Bob Wright really had the idea and brought that idea forward. And just a few years later, here we are 10 days away at this point in time from John starting and our class beginning. So we're really pleased with that.
From your experience, I know you've worked at other medical colleges and actually other new medical colleges. Is this support something different? Is the time frame, the pace that you've moved in, is that usual?
Actually, all of this is different. We were given it when I started in 2007. We had a 2-year time frame to get ready, and that was.
So you had plenty of time.
Yeah, we had plenty of time, about 2 years, and that moved very quickly, and that was very unusual to be able to do that in 2 years. And again, the reason for that is that people in the community supported this so much. Well, part of this example of that is the scholarships we raise, all through community support. Every student receives an $80,000 scholarship, and that's dollars raised from people in the community, from hospitals, from physicians, and from others. So that's really remarkable. It is very, very unusual to be able to put together the entire process within a 2-year period. So we're really pleased with our progress.
And this does actually benefit the area greatly. It started, really part of your mission is to address a critical shortage.
Well, the reason that this was founded initially was because there is a critical physician shortage in the area. And I think anyone in the area knows that to get a new patient appointment with a doctor takes months sometimes. And so looking forward, the concept was that it was going to be even more difficult as the nation goes through a physician shortage. So one of the ways to solve this was to create a medical school, create our own pipeline, recruit physicians into the area that will be working at the medical school and taking care of patients, and also to retain physicians who want to be part of the medical school.
And I'd like to actually introduce now one of the incoming students. I know actually, John, I've known you since you were very young.
Yes.
St. Stanislaus Elementary School is where we first met.
Mm-hmm.
You've been, I'll get a little bit of background on you. St. Stanislaus Elementary School, you're always smart, valedictorian in your class.
Thank you.
Salutatorian at Bishop Hannon High School.
Yes.
Again, very, very smart.
Yes.
You went to the University of Scranton as part of the Special Jesuit Liberal Arts Honors Program.
Yes, I did.
Biology major, which I know is difficult
Yes,
in and of
very.
itself. And you graduated magna cum laude.
Yes, I did.
Now, you had choices.
Yes, I
With
did.
medical school. Can you tell me some of the schools you were accepted to?
Actually, I was accepted to 3 medical schools, TCMC, of course, which I'll be attending in the fall, and also Georgetown in Washington, D.C., and Temple University in Philadelphia. So I did have some choices when it came to going to medical school.
And I think the choices were good
very.
and bad.
Oh, yes, because each school has its own individual identity, and they each have pluses and minuses to them. Georgetown, very established program, has a lot of weight on the national level. Temple, also very good program. But TCMC is what I chose to do
Why?
in the fall. There's actually a couple reasons for that. One of them is people may ask, why not go to an established school already? You kind of know there's no X factor to it. Being part of a first class is something that you don't get anywhere else, really. I mean, there's 4 new medical schools that opened in the nation this year. So I thought that was a really exciting opportunity to be part of a first class, and also to be one of only 64 students at the entire school. The amount of personal attention that we'll be receiving and the amount of influence that we can actually have on our education, to have more of a fluid instead of a static education at a school like TCMC. Also, being a member of Northeastern Pennsylvania, to see a school like this open in the area was incredibly exciting, because I've seen, especially in the past 5 or 10 years, the revitalization of Scranton. I mean, there's new businesses opening, there's new things happening in Scranton. So a new medical school, a new higher level of education was something that I thought would be incredibly exciting to be part of. And also the community-based model that TCMC is putting forth. I haven't seen a medical school where you follow around a 3-generational family for 4 years. So that's something that I thought for the 21st century is a focus of medicine that I would only get an opportunity at a school like TCMC.
Doctor,
Now
can
you can see why John was selected. He's incredibly articulate.
Thank you.
And he really has the right values. And this is what we look for in a student. Values in terms of service, serving the community, and not just intelligence. And obviously he's very smart, but also is going to be a good communicator. Because one of the things people say is that my doctor doesn't listen to me and we don't communicate. So John has all the attributes to be a great physician, and we're pleased and proud that he's going to be in our inaugural class.
Can I ask you, John mentioned a little bit about the philosophy of teaching that you're doing for the school, about following 3 generations of family. Is this, again, a unique concept, a new concept, or is this
it is fairly unique. There are some schools that are doing this. John will follow a family, multi-generational family, for 4 years. But the difference here is we want John to go into the home, not just see them in the clinic, to learn what the healthcare issues are behind the illness, the things that affect whether they take their medicine, don't take their medicine, can pay their bills, whether they have to make choices. I have to either buy food or buy medicine. We would like John to see that and the other students to see that and understand healthcare from the patient's perspective.
And we have actually some drawings too of the new building that's
Right.
going up for the
That's
medical
correct.
college. I wonder if you could take us through some of those.
Sure.
We'll start, I guess, with the outside
If you
of
look
the
at
building.
the first picture there is the north court. That is actually behind the front of the building. As you face it on the left is the education building where the laboratory, not the laboratories, but the learning center is, library, and that's where the students will do most of their learning. The area with the grassy area is where they can come together and meet, and between classes, they won't have a lot of time, but between classes. And to the right, the facility on the right is really the laboratory facility, and that's where the research will go on, and also where some of the anatomy teaching will go on in that facility there. To the right is our laboratories. This is a typical lab. It's what they call a wet lab. Basic science research will go on in that facility, and the research there is really critical. It'll be state-of-the-art research. We'll be looking for discoveries that will have an impact on patients, and it will focus on the diseases that are prevalent in our area. One comment about this is that even though we've only really been operational in our laboratories for 6 months, or less than 6 months, we've already applied for a patent. And we think that really has great potential. The hope is that we will spin off companies and increase employment. One of the other important things in terms of economic development is that for every NIH grant, there are 7.8 jobs generated locally and in the community. Now, on the other picture that I'd like to show you is what we call the simulation room. The simulation room is again, a state-of-the-art medical education facility. This is where students and even practicing physicians will come to learn new modern techniques on mannequins or dummies so that they don't have to learn these on real people to start. So that picture there, for example, could be a mannequin that would be programmed to have a cardiac arrest. And people would then be working on that. The computer would modify the responses, and in the end, the mannequin would either live or die. And then you can review what you did right.
Is it based too on
what
what the doctors do? The mannequin will respond to what the medical student is doing.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's really really critical. Now you're looking at that room through a mirror, so that they could be observed, and observers could then give feedback to what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong, as well as looking at the computer printout. And in addition to that, all of that will be taped, so they can then look at themselves later on.
So John, get used to being on camera.
That's right. That's exactly right. This is practice for being in the simulation room, John.
And we have one more, I guess, photo, which is the typical, that
Right.
would be a typical classroom.
Typical lecture hall. There you have 2 screens, and all of that is wired and connected. You see one of the individuals in the back there with her computer open, and that would be typical. They could follow the lecture along with their computer. interesting thing is that less than 50% of of the educational experience of students will be lecture.
Less than 50%.
Less than 50%, which is again a trend in medical education. A lot of it will be small group learning, case-based learning, and again, all of these are new trends in medical education.
So basically, we not only have a new medical college in Northeastern Pennsylvania, we have a cutting edge.
Absolutely, and the techniques we're using and the training that we're using is really cutting edge and really, really very, very involved in patient care, and cases are used as learning experiences.
And John, you, I'm assuming with the rigor of the medical school acceptance, did you know a lot of this before you accepted the Commonwealth?
After I was accepted at Commonwealth, when I was making my decision for medical school, I really tried to do some research into the philosophy of each of the schools, and that's what really attracted me to TCMC. Excuse me, was the focus on technology and the focus on the cutting edge medical education in the 21st century.
And now, what do you hope to get? Are you? I know it's too early. You don't know your specialization yet. Are you thinking that you would like to stay in this area, or?
That's definitely a possibility. I mean, I have grown fond of Scranton over the years that I've been in northeastern Pennsylvania. I don't have my heart set on a specific medical profession as of now. What I've heard from doctors that I've spoken with is go into every rotation like that's what you've wanted to do for your whole life, and then you get the most out of it, and then you can choose what you want to do. I mean, going to my first year of medical school, there's at least 4 years and residency years after that, so there's still a while to decide, but I'm not going to put northeastern Pennsylvania out of my mind as an opportunity in the future.
Have you always wanted to be a doctor?
Since high school, maybe not since I was little. I mean, everything went through my mind from architect to cartoonist to pro baseball player. You know, But once I got to high school, that's when I started to decide.
Can I ask the doctor,
Sure.
is John going to be happy with the education he's going to get at the
I
medical
think
college?
he's going to be very pleased with it. I think it's going to be a great learning experience for him. It's going to be a lot of hard work. So happy may not be the right word, but I think that
Challenge.
I think he'll be challenged and very pleased.
He's used to it.
And we want him to stay as well. So we're going to do everything we can to convince him to continue with his postgraduate training in the area and then stay and eventually practice here as well.
And I know you have the medical school students coming in.
Yes.
It's a class, I think you said around 60 students. Can you
Yes.
tell us, is John typical? Where are they from? Are they from Pennsylvania? Are they from?
Well, John is unique. I would say that
Okay.
in every very positive way. But he's typical in the sense that we really have an excellent class. They come from 75% come from Pennsylvania, a large percentage from our region. They come from outstanding institutions. We have students from University of Pennsylvania. We have students from Cornell. We have students from as far away as California. So they're really outstanding students, and they match in every way with students nationally. So they're at least as good, if not better, than students at any other medical school, and we're really pleased with that.
And do they also hopefully blend in well with your philosophy? I know, again, students a lot at the University of Pennsylvania, a lot of these other schools like the University of Scranton, some of the students will have choices.
Yes.
So you had to be competitive.
That's correct.
But they were probably, like John, looking at the philosophy. So you're hoping that, I think you have statistics that maybe about students who are educated in an area, staying in the area.
Right.
Can you share with us some of those?
Yeah,
with us?
the tendency is that you practice where you went to high school or where your spouse went to high school. So I don't think John's married yet, so we're going to try to hook him up with somebody locally.
Well, his girlfriend's at the medical school.
Yeah, that's right. So,
I don't know if we're supposed to know that.
That's right. So I didn't want to go that far, but in any case, the idea there is to really begin the selection process. And then the next important thing is where they do their postgraduate training, residency, is also where they tend to practice. And that's why I mentioned earlier, we want to convince John to stay and do his residencies locally. And so we'll be developing those programs as well to help students stay and eventually practice in the area. If a student goes to medical school in an area, if they do their residency in an area, there's about a 90% chance that they'll stay and practice in the area.
And the focus, I know, has been on the medical school students.
Right.
But there is also a graduate
That's
class
correct. There's a
coming in.
master's program in biological sciences, and that's a very important program for people that are looking to the future in terms of different careers in the health professions and also looking at medical school in the future. So that's a very important program. We have students from, again, generally from the region in that program. We're very excited about that as well.
And the research that you're doing is phenomenal. I mean, you've basically you assembled an A-team.
Right.
I mean, you brought in the big hitters, and they started running. They got in the ground running.
We already have over $4 million in federal funding for our grants, and that's incredible for an institution that doesn't have a student yet. So, we're really pleased with that, and pleased with the faculty we have, and the fact that we have a patent already before we have a student is another really prime example of how far we've come. So we're really pleased with that.
And it's going to actually, in addition to the community-based medicine, it's going to offer a lot of opportunities for research, because I'm assuming that for the research, you're going to have opportunities for your students.
Absolutely, and I think many of the students that are coming into the first class are already working with our researchers this summer as interns. So we've given them that opportunity. They'll have opportunities to continue to work with them, and also have practice opportunities with our volunteer faculty, which number over 500 in the communities that surround us. So we're really pleased with that as well.
Again, tremendous support.
It's just incredible, and there's frankly nothing bad that has happened.
Well, we'll keep it going positive. We'll keep it going positive.
That's right.
Now, you did mention just briefly about the economic
Right.
opportunities that the medical college is going to bring to the area. What did you mention? Their figure about how many dollars are?
Well, some of the early studies indicated that the medical college would have about a $200 million impact on the community, right from the very start, within the first few years. The long-term impact is in the billions of dollars. And if you look at academic medical centers elsewhere, you see that these are billion-dollar organizations. Now we're talking about 20 years from now, not 5 or 10 even.
Well, you've been on the
years.
fast track. It may only take you 10.
May only take us, we're working on it. We're working on it.
Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us. John, thank you very much for being here. Good luck. Good luck.
you.
You're going to be working hard, but I'm sure you're already used to it, and I'm sure you'll do really, really well.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I know it's going to be hard work, but I am looking forward to starting. Only about a week and a half. So.
Well, enjoy the week and a half, because we won't see you again for 4 years.
Yeah.
I think.
That's right.
And Dr. D'Alessandre, is there something that you wanted to add? Any closing remarks?
No, I think that again, we're really appreciative of the community support. We would not be here without that support. We would not be here without the support of Blue Cross, who's put an enormous amount of resources into this and has an incredible vision for this community to improve community health, which is very unusual for an organization like that. So we're really proud of that. And of course, the other is the state of Pennsylvania has been very contributory as well. And the leadership of Senator Mello in that regard has been very helpful to us. So we're really appreciative of that.
Great. And we're really appreciative of I Am Business for the sponsorship of the Mall at Steamtown for supporting our show. We are at the Mall at Steamtown, and thank you very much, Dr. D'Alessandre. Thank you very much, John Cottula, for being our guest. Dr. D'Alessandre is the president and founding dean of the Commonwealth Medical College, and John Cottula is an incoming student in the Commonwealth Medical College. I'm Stan Zygmunt. Thank you for watching I Am Business.